Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. It is indeed leak season yet again, and this time around it is thanks to our old pal, the datamine. The datamine does not care what your secrets are. In the end, it will expose them. And it's not the first time data mining has given us some hints to, well, any Arc System Works game, not just Guilty Gear Strive. This has also been a reason why we knew a lot of the DLC characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ as well. So data mining gave us a lot of what we know of Season 1. Pretty much everything happened except for the one mystery of Slayer, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So we'll get to it in 1 second here, but just very quickly, I would like to give a shout out to Lord Ultima 647. Their work has been featured on this channel before, and they helped me out with a lot of the info you're about to see in this video, and also a person by the name of Rin, who actually found out some of these details quite a while ago, and it's only really coming to light now. So you can find their details in the video description. So that all said, what exactly are we looking at here? Who is a potential character going by this data mining for Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive? And it looks like we have Sin Kisk, as in the famous Sin of Guilty Gear Exard fame, the little hungry boy who beats you with the stick. And what exactly is pointing to this character? Well, it is dialogue that has been data mined from the game itself after the Testament patch. This is how we found out about quite a few characters, in fact, not the least of which is like Gold Lewis and Baiken. So in the game files, both Testament and Baiken have victory quotes and also round intro quotes directly against Sin, speaking to him directly. Once again, this is how we found out quite a few characters at launch. Angie had dialogue pointing to Baiken as a character, speaking directly to her, and that's why we knew she was going to be a character. Dialogue leaks are one of the most common ways to catch a character early on in the game's life. Like going back to Mortal Kombat 11 is how we knew Shiva was going to be in the game, because we had her dialogue a full year before she showed up. Like this dialogue here, this is one of Testament's win quotes. I've earned a bubble bath today. And also some of the other quotes against Sin when Sin is a character, stating stuff like, "You have much to learn." And that's basically the long and short of it. Multiple characters have lines referencing Sin, and this is proven in this game, let alone other games, to be one of the ways we can discern later DLC characters, because they're not writing the dialogue in the files for their own good health, right? This is part of the game code. And since we have dialogue pointing to Sin, well, it looks like Sin's going to be a character in Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive. Sin is the next character in the starting to be a long line of the characters here that have been revealed through this text dialogue in the game files. There is also some bits in this Testament patch that point to some other things. Not necessarily new characters, but certain models like Faust has new rigging for what I'm assuming is the second story mode, because that is only a few weeks away as of the time of me making this video. In and of itself, like this is the Faust model here, it doesn't necessarily mean too much, but since they're in the story mode, maybe they'll have a couple new crazy animations and they'll do some fun stuff. Also, speaking of the story mode, it's a very safe bet. If you see a character in story mode that appears with a new model, they're more than likely gonna be a playable character. Like Gold Lewis. Gold Lewis obviously factored into the original story mode of the game, and for some reason people doubted he would be a playable character, yet, you know, with all his detail and all that kind of stuff, yet obviously enough, he was a playable character. So say if Johnny shows up with a new look, Johnny probably is going to be a Season 2 character. It's a safe bet. We won't have to wait too long to speculate on that, actually, because story mode's not too far away, but just keep an eye on that. If there's a new character who's definitely been playable before and they have a new look, they're probably going to be playable again. So there's that. Now let's talk about Slayer for a second, because yes, Slayer was in a lot of the old previous leaks, and Slayer, just like Sin, as we were mentioning here, also has dialogue against other characters. Other characters directly talk to Slayer in intros and victory quotes, all that kind of stuff. So where did he go, right? Did that debunk the leak? Well, not really, because everything else about the leak was correct. We got Gold Lewis, we got Jacko, we got Happy Chaos, and we got Baiken. The leak said all four of those characters and Slayer. So Slayer, though, didn't show up. So my hypothesis is this: Slayer is still very much around, because they wouldn't write that dialogue in the game code for nothing, right? So Slayer is very much around, it's just that he got moved. to Season 2 of the game. We already know Season 2 is going to be coming with a new multitude of DLC, so he just got moved into the Season 2 version, and Testament, as a surprise, swerve the fans, whatever you want to call it, Testament got moved up into Season 1. Now, as for the reasoning behind that's up for the developers, I guess. I couldn't tell you, right? It certainly happened before, maybe some more strenuous situations, like, once again, going back to Mortal Kombat 11. Very famously, Ash Williams was supposed to be in the first round of DLC, even to the point where they put out official marketing saying as much, and like all the trademarks, all that kind of stuff, and then, well, he never showed up. Now, we don't know the legal reasons. I don't know if we'll ever know the whole story of why Ash definitely was going to be in MK11, then disappeared. But what definitely did happen was Joker was the one who took his place, and Joker wasn't even necessarily fully ready yet. Like, his original model that they showed off versus the finished model are very night and day, but he was the next most complete character, so he took the spot. So perhaps Testament was the next most complete character, or obviously was already done, right? So they just kind of swapped Testament and Slayer, and then haha, everyone has a nice surprise. Once again, I do not doubt the veracity of the previous leaks at all because, well, the data mine gave us everything else, right? And the same data mining that showed us Baiken, showed us Happy Chaos, showed us Jacko, Gold Lewis, also said Slayer as well. So in my opinion, as far as that goes, it's simply a matter of time. Now, will Slayer be first? Will Sin be first? And who knows what the other characters will be because we have no idea about that. We will just have to, frankly, wait and see. Maybe whenever we get the Season 2 patch, there'll be more data mining to show what exactly the future might have in store for us. So if we have 4 characters for Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive, at this point it looks like expect Sin and more than likely expect Slayer. And once again, the story mode is coming out, the second story mode that is coming out very soon, and that'll probably give us a very strong hint or two at who's coming next as well. Besides that, I actually have a little bit of data mining trivia for you. Apparently, Gold Lewis was meant to be a main roster character, according to our data mining friend, Lord Ultima. We have here files from the original beta, and Gold Lewis was supposed to have like main character status even back then, but perhaps because of the delays, this, that, and the other, things changed on that front. Makes sense to me. He's a fairly important character in story mode. And obviously from the get-go, just his character design screamed he was going to be a playable character. But hey, plans change. Anyways, my friends, that's the news as it currently stands. We'll have to wait and see if it comes true, I suppose. But as far as I'm concerned, especially considering the basically perfect success rate we've had so far, there's no real reason to doubt it. That all said, well, now we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.